Hi, my name is Michelle Christ, and I'm a Gold Ambassador with Plexus Worldwide. And I'm coming to you tonight to tell a little bit about my story. The last few days, I've had a lot of people reach out and ask questions that I can tell that they think I don't know how to put it, like I'm someone I'm not, or I haven't been there where they're at. And I wanted to share my story in its humble beginning. How appropriate that Leslie hops on, because she is the one that brought this crazy journey to me. When Plexus found me, it was August. Well, actually, I first heard about Plexus in June of 2016. Leslie had a post that caught my attention, and she was talking something to the effect of she was having more good days than she was having bad days. And at the time, I was a mother of twins with not very much energy and a whole lot of life that was kicking my butt. So I thought, well, I don't know if this will work, but I don't think it'll hurt me, and I've at least got to try. And they have a 60-day money back guarantee. So it was kind of funny, because today I looked back through my messages with Leslie, and I don't know if you've ever compared reality to memory, and I have a better filter than I realized, because I thought I had been pretty blunt with her about how uninterested I was with the business, because I can remember thinking that, like, I don't have any you know maybe some friends might do it and help me mitigate the costs, because I did not ever see us affording a second month of Plexus. I was going to ask for our money back in 30 days. My messages made it seem like I was way more excited. And I was very hopeful. I was excited, because not very long into it, I started to have some amazing changes. So I heard a nice phrase today: the glory of my story. Those of you have maybe heard a little bit about my story. Some of you know the whole thing. But the highlights, the glory of my story, is I have lost 35 pounds. I've lost over 36 inches. I no longer am a mom in a fog. I no longer am a momster in the making. I get to be the mom that I want to be. I've been able to get rid of my allergy medications. I have asthma that's under control. My skin is incredibly changed. I mean, I have struggled my entire life wishing for healthy skin. And now I'm getting older, and we may have wrinkles, but at least it's looking better. Uh, what else? I used to really struggle from OCD. You have to do things in a certain order when you're going places, or the rest of my week was jacked up. That bad. I mean, there were just things that I did, and I didn't even think about them, because that would be too stressful. I just did them because that helped. Well, anybody with OCD understands exactly what I mean. The order of what you do something should not get in the way of the rest of your day or how you feel. Um, my hair growth and eyelashes are insane. Thank you, Plexus. I've gone through a couple wardrobes. Thank you, Plexus. Um, the last couple months, if needed, we could have used our Plexus paycheck to pay our rent and mortgage. There's been huge changes in my husband's life. He gets to be the dad he wants to be. His body is not fighting against him. My family has so many little pockets of stories. I used to suffer from horrible headaches. He has an RA disorder. My stepdaughter Lily was struggling with, early ADHD. They never really wanted to diagnose her, but they sure did want to give her an adult's high blood pressure medication to put her to sleep at night. And that stuff is really hard to go through. And seeing her gut health improve, she's a whole new little girl. Gut health for me and my husband, I mean, it's changed our entire family dynamic in this last year. So, I mean, that is our glory, right? And now we're at the point that we have the wonderful option that my mother is now on product too. And it sounds silly to put it this way, but my mom's health has been very bad the last few years. Everybody's just kind of been waiting on a bad phone call. And watching her with her Plexus journey has kind of been like you went and started watering that plant that you forgot about in the back room for a while that had dried out, and now you're giving it some sunshine, some love, and some water, and it comes back to life. She looks better. Her old scars are healing. Her hair is getting darker. She's losing weight. Her attention is more sharp and focused. You want to talk about a Plexus supporter and a super excited lady, and that is my mother. And I feel very blessed that we get to do that. Yay. So that's a little of the glory. We all have heard that. I mean, the fact that I could have paid my rent last month with Plexus, that's a pretty big financial step. I'm recovering from a bankruptcy. When I found Plexus, I didn't have money for it. It took us about 6 weeks to even order our first month because I had to sell a bunch of the stuff, outgrown baby things or anything that we could do without, and go from there to even afford our first month. Like I said, I wasn't going to do it for more than about 30 days, and then I wanted my money back because I didn't see how our budget was going to be able to handle it. I didn't expect to feel so good. I didn't expect it to change what it did. And the funny part about our finances is it eventually kind of started to work itself out. So what happened was when I started, I was like, well, I kind of like this stuff, so maybe I need to pay attention enough, share with a few friends to get my products paid for. I'm like, surely that's doable. I keep hearing everybody talk about it. And so I pressed purchase and signed up August 3rd of 2016. I had my sample or whatever the end of June, and I actually chuckled, Leslie. Do you remember what I wanted after I signed up? I said, welcome to business or something to that effect. And then I asked for monthly wine meetings, which we still have not arranged those, but we should have monthly wine meetings. I still think that's a fabulous idea. So I have a little timeline here that I have jotted out, and it's been kind of a treat to put this together because I haven't looked backwards. You know, I keep looking forwards and I keep going through, and I know I've been through some stuff. When you stop and you like glance back and there's been some things I had to get through, totally. But I don't know, I tend to look forward, and so looking back has been kind of interesting because I remember thinking, I don't have time for business. I don't want this. I'm staying home with my girls because financially I can't afford to go to work. It's too expensive for daycare. And if I'm here, I need to be spending as much time with them and my family as I can. Well, we all know that once you get a little healthier on Plexus, your day dynamic really changes and you can fit a lot more in, enjoy your family, and hey, I don't know, run a business from home. Well, so August 5th, that is only 2 days after I signed up, I had a couple friends asking me and wondering what I'd been talking about because I was all excited, didn't even have my products yet, but I'd had a sample and I was just itching to find out what the full stuff was going to do for me. And they were like, you know, maybe I'm going to do that too. And I'm like, dude, I don't even have my stuff. And people are excited. I'm like, maybe I can pay for my products this month. That'll be fantastic. So the next day, I had a couple people that, or I was talking to Leslie that I thought maybe I can do this. Maybe I can get my products paid for next month. And then a few days later, I get my products, and there's this really nice lady named Brooke. I don't know if you've met her. On the 9th, I apparently met Brooke, and she was so cool, and I thought she was so nice and so knowledgeable, and I just couldn't say enough nice things about her. And on August 11th, so I had my ambassadorship start August 3rd, August 11th. I'm still excited on my first week. I don't even think detox had really set in yet, maybe a few symptoms here or there. I had my first ambassador. I was super thrilled. This is a friend of mine that we went to church together. We did life together, and she was excited to hear I'd started Plexus. She'd kind of heard a little bit about it. We talked back and forth, and she was signing up, and she was having some problems, so she messaged me. And I gotta tell you, ask questions. I don't even know how to explain this, and I feel dumb explaining it, but that's kind of the point a little bit tonight, is to let you know that I don't care what the story is, how you start, where you decide to take it is truly up to you. You don't have to start out a rock star. There is definitely progress to be had and support to get there. So I signed up my first ambassador, right, on August 11th, helped her through all kinds of problems with the website. It wouldn't accept her credit card. It wouldn't accept her name with her social security number. We went back and forth with customer service and everything. Took most of the day on and off. And then by the end of the day, she said, okay, I got it all in there. And I'm looking in my back office, which I didn't really understand how to use very well yet. Man, she should be showing up in there. So I talked to Leslie. I'm like, Leslie, should she show up there? Do you see her? And she's like, well, sometimes it takes a little while. Guys, it took a couple hours to figure this out. I had helped her sign up with her friend in Germany on a completely different team, guys. Not my team. My friend, my help, who asked me all kinds of questions, and she was now signed up for her friend that she kind of knew in Germany. It's really hard to get that excited about this new thing that has obviously been changing your health and starting to make some changes, and you're like, oh, this is just meant to be. Yes, everything's fallen together. I have people curious, and it's going to happen. And then I helped them sign up for somebody else's team. It was kind of a kick in the shorts. And looking through, I tried to stay positive. But the next couple messages, I could tell I was really starting to get down, and I know I was. I remember it. So on the 17th, I was really hitting the frustration, and I was not understanding the website. I did not understand the back office and then the replicated website. It was kind of confusing to me, and I was trying to post and be excited, and I was posting wrong information. Go me, right? So we were talking about doing a 7-day slim challenge, and I was trying to get a price number out there that it was $19.95 for people, and well, it was actually $24.95 for retail customers. The ambassador price was $19.95, but I'd already had it up, had people commenting on it, and I was kind of freaking out because I felt like I gave these people that price. I was going to have to honor that. I didn't have any money in the bank to be giving anybody a discount. They had to order stuff for themselves because we barely had money for our own products. And really, we were making decisions of groceries or Plexus when we started. There was no room for error. And I had posts that were non-compliant. I didn't understand the whole FDA approval of things. I didn't understand why things were so crazy. I'm like, you guys are telling me all this wonderful stuff. Let me share it with people. And it was definitely getting used to a foreign world. There was a lot of information to soak in and soak up. Not only, hey, my gut health actually controls so many things that I thought were just my own personality that I had to deal with. Well, that's a pretty big one, and I'm excited to learn those. But all the rest of them are kind of like, I have to pay attention to how I say things, and I love to talk, so I needed to figure that stuff out pretty quickly. Well, then I got inundated with all the training videos. And you mean YouTube has thousands, and there's diamond documentaries, and you have all these trainings and this and that, and there's no grand schedule. I got kind of overwhelmed, and I was already kind of grouchy. But then I got really excited around the 17th. It's funny because that early morning I can tell how frustrated I was, and by the evening I was over the moon. I had my first customer. So sign up August 3rd, not my ambassador August 11th, and by the 17th I have my first customer. She's super excited. This is still a friend of mine today. She has multiple health issues. And the idea of her getting on there was just so good for my heart. I knew it was going to be good for her. It was good for the start of things for me to understand what was going on. And then we started this challenge of 7 in silver, silver in 7. And I started to get to meet through YouTube and Facebook videos people like Andrea Mitchell and Angie Atkinson. And they were like stars to me. I thought, oh my gosh, these ladies know their stuff so well. They're so wonderful and so nice. And I turned into a little bit of a stalker girl. I started friending people on these Plexus videos, and turns out they are amazing people, and a lot of them are friends of mine now. And I was just excited. I could start to see this potential building, you know? But then the 22nd rolls around. We're talking, 4 days, 5 days later. My friend has not even gotten her products in the mail, and she messaged me. She goes, I think my products are going to arrive tomorrow, the tracking number or whatever says, but I'm going to have to return them. I can't take them. What? I have an ambassador that's not my ambassador. I have a customer that hasn't even got their products, has quit. She went to her doctor and they discussed everything. She really has lots of medical issues. I still to this day wish her doctor, if I had known more, maybe I could have given different advice, and I still pray that there will be an opening. These products are still sitting in her closet. They're still there. She won't throw them away. She talks about giving them back to me to give to somebody else. She thinks they're fantastic, but she's afraid to take them. She's worried that they will affect her very long list of problems. She's in and out of the hospital quite often. So I understand the fear, but I pray someday something will make her reach in that closet and just go ahead and dabble. I don't know. But that was really a kick in the head as well. And that was the end of August. And I don't know, I'm stubborn, and I'd gotten into some detox by then and was kind of feeling like crummy. So part of that to me was almost validation that I feel crummy. They told me I was going to feel crummy. So I'm going to push through. This is doing something important. And so I just reached out. I didn't know what the heck I was doing. I'd watched a few videos, and you're supposed to make a goal. So September 1st, I had a goal. 3 new ambassadors, and I was going to sign up 10 customers because that seemed completely doable to me. I didn't know anything about anything. And little did we know, I mean, later that week, so on September 6th, we had some tragic news that could have gone a lot worse, but it was quite the blow to our family. My bonus son, Wyatt, was really struggling with anxiety and depression, and he attempted suicide. He was 12 years old. And to know that someone you love so much and feel like you would do the world to protect was so low that they thought that that's what they needed to do was a wake-up call for my family all the way around. Divorced families are a very difficult world to live in. And that experience for our side and his mom's side really helped us chuck out a bunch of junk that wasn't important. The kids are what's important, and you have to focus there and be there for them. And Plexus played an odd role in there, in that we had started to do Plexus, and not long after that, his mom and I were talking about something, and it found out that she was doing Plexus. In a weird time of our life, it pulled both ends of this family together and helped forge some new roads. And that has been crazy. But in the middle of all that, it's like, what does that do to your, excitement? And life happens in the weirdest ways. And I would say that during that tragedy, people really reached out and checked on me, and it was very nice to see the Plexus community. I really got a peek in there, and in September, I had a lot of Plexus friends added to my Facebook page, and a lot of new friendships and support that I found there. In September, I mean, I think I brainstormed and tried every good trick I could come up with. I was writing special envelopes and putting all this information on there because I couldn't afford to buy anything. I didn't have business cards. I used the PDF on the website. I doodled on envelopes and gave it to people. I really tried to find couples to start together because it was better for them and better for me. I mean, I had lots of big ideas, and I would say, things just kind of were. And I'm learning at that time. I'm soaking up new Plexus information. I still am today. But, there was a lot to learn, and that was pretty early on. Now, the end of September, I had a friend that I had actually reached out to because of Plexus. We had not talked in years, and it was amazing to get in touch with her and reconnect. And Plexus has done this for me over and over again. It sounds silly to need a reason to reach out to people you care about, but sometimes you get busy with the day-to-day, and you think of them fondly, and you remember the good times, and you don't reach out and say hello. I am better at that now. I'm still improving, but there's something about Plexus that made me value every relationship, every friendship out there, not only for what I might be able to share with them, but they're the pillars of my life. They're how I got where I am now, and it's really good to reconnect with those. Well, one of those ladies really struggles with fibromyalgia, and for me to have a tool to offer to her pain issue was huge for me. And she was all excited, and she had a lot of trouble signing up. She called customer service, and she is not a patient person. Okay, she's just not. And I didn't know enough to how to help her. I didn't know how to do a 3-way call. And she gave up. She's like, I want it, but I'm not going to put up with this. And I didn't like it. So she gave up. And I have a conversation that I wrote down here to share with you. At the end of September, I told Leslie, I said, 6 months from now, these hurdles will be good lessons and stories to share. But right now, grrr, everything was grrr. But even then, I'm trying to look forward. We know that on the other side of trials are opportunities. So anything worth having does not just fall into your lap. You don't end up somewhere of growth on accident. You have to take steps on purpose. And things started to kind of come together in October. It took me a little while to wind up. That friend went ahead and gave it another shot. She got signed up. She did products for about 60 days and quit. She's thinking about getting started again now, which is super exciting. I'm very happy for her. I know a lot more now. She's one of the first people I ever talked to about the business, because we've been in business together before at a different opportunity. And I was like, I don't even need to know what I'm talking about. She'll know my heart and how excited I am. She'll join me. And I got to tell you, I don't think she talked to me for a couple months after that. I scared the crap out of her. And we're still good friends, and she's seen my change and the growth that this has been in my life, and she's really rethinking that whole thing. So that's exciting. Let's see. October started out fun, right? So I got a new customer, and almost immediately, I think I was too excited and sharing, I got kicked off of some of my twin mom support groups. These were places that I went to problem solve and look for support and other moms. Twin parenting, by the way, is a very unique and wonderful, fantastic, fun roller coaster of life. I'd had some ladies ask what was changing for me because I was looking happier. I was talking about having more energy. I did not respond to them on the page. I was trying to be respectful, but I answered their question on Messenger, and they kicked me off, and I'm not allowed back in. I'm like, oh, well, that kind of sucks. Then right in the middle of October, I had a lady that I used to work with at the dental practice that I was at, and she called me. I was getting ready for a wedding, and she had some questions about my Facebook and Plexus. She goes, I've been watching your Facebook journey, and I've been looking up some things about gut health. I have a friend that's been doing it, and I've watched her journey a little bit, but I feel like I know you better. Can you answer a few things for me? So while I was curling my hair, I answered the few questions. I'm glad the questions she knew or asked were ones I actually knew the answer to at that point. And I shared, and I made it clear that even if I don't know the answer, we have a great team that we can turn and look to. Leslie and Brooke are always willing to help out. And then I went to a wedding out in the boonies. It was no cell service, nothing. When I came back into self-service, I had my first ambassador. She had gone ahead and signed up. I think she pretty much had her mind already made up. I don't know if any of you have gone through the personality color book. She is straight up green with a lot of yellow. So she loves to love on people, and she already had all her facts, just had some final questions, and she took care of that probably the second we got off the phone together. And I love her. She is still an ambassador with our team today, and I hug on her every chance I get. I love her and her husband very much. So October was looking up. I had an ambassador. I got a $50 commission because she bought the double welcome pack because her husband was going to be doing it with her, whether he knew it or not. And then I won $50 on a challenge. One of the team leaders was hosting on their page, and I won $50 just for buying my products and hanging out and being around. And I'm like, well, there's $100 I didn't have. Okay, so maybe we're gonna get a little. By the way, my first month as an ambassador, I made $11.75, and I was really confused because I'm like, I obviously have not had anybody hook up with anything. It was on my own products. And I'm like, you guys are going to pay me for my own products? So that's pretty fantastic. Hi, Ellie. You may have to go tell Dad that he needs to help us out, and I don't know what to throw at him. Everything I have is like pointy and sharp. We're almost done, guys. So, I mean, October is where things started to kind of change. And there's actually a really neat thing that goes along with that, and it had absolutely nothing to do with Facebook groups. It had nothing to do with my upline. It had nothing to do with anything other than we started reading some personal growth books. Later, we reached out and kind of got some ideas from other friends as to what they were recommending. But we started with 2 books that really kind of started. So the person I was when I started couldn't do what I do now. I just didn't have the skill set. I didn't even know to look for the skills to have them. I had maybe the raw talent, the raw molding materials, but I needed to sharpen the edge of the blade, if you will. And so we read Leadership and Self-Deception. This has been a book that has changed my relationship with my husband. This is a book that has changed my relationship with other people, whether it's in a leadership capacity or a friendship capacity. It's an amazing book, and it's no thicker than your thumb. So it's definitely worth the moment. We read the 4-Color Personality book, but I think the second one we actually read was Go Pro by Eric Worre, because network marketing has this stigma. I'd been involved in network marketing a couple times, enjoyed products, but never made a dime. Never. Not even as a write-off for my taxes. It was never even worth a consideration. And after listening to Eric Worre's book, Go Pro, because we did audiobook and listened to him at the gym while we were working out, it changed my view of what this network marketing thing is. I mean, we kind of see the general picture of having a few friends that could help us cover the cost of what we like to do. I mean, that kind of fit the bill of what I'd used other network marketing stuff for. I'd been a Mary Kay rep and really enjoyed getting the cheaper prices. I tried Party Light and loved getting stuff at, cost rather than spending retail. But Plexus was the first one that actually put a check in my pocket. They were the first ones to have a group of people willing to help me with not only my health results, but to find whatever small or large financial goal this business should pose for me. And that kind of tickled my fancy. And so we've made it a point to really delve into more training and more information. And I've been super thrilled that, whatever you want to learn, the Plexus community is there and happy to share. Diamond documentaries are just full of amazing things. So I'm just going to tell you that I'm not I'm not this lady that showed up with like the perfect network and tons of people. I am somebody that signed up people on the wrong team. By the way, she is no longer an ambassador with them. She is waiting her time and will join our team soon. She had a very hard start. I didn't even know enough as a friend then to help her, but now that she's gone through it again, we've got her successfully on products and doing very well. Just because you can come up with a list of things today that are in your way does not mean that those are reasons you can't succeed. That means you just need to work on your skill set. You need to reach out for a hand to understand things, to feed yourself, grow yourself, and know yourself to get there. I went to convention thinking I could do this part-time and just looked at the people in our team with awe at 300 Club, 500 Club, being recognized for all the work that they do with Plexus. And I could think of so many ways that they just had this laid before them in a way that had to be so easy because they're so smart. They have the right degree. They have all this stuff. And I don't know when I stopped listening to that sentence in my head. But somewhere in the last couple months, in the feeding of self-growth, the soaking up of knowledge, and really understanding everything, that changed. And I am shocked as all get out when my face pops up in the top 10 for our team's stuff, for PV or growth. And I'm like, I don't feel like I'm doing much different, but I'm believing something different. I believe it's possible. So really watch how you talk to yourself. Find something amazing to tell yourself, whether you believe it or not, keep saying it. And just might surprise you, I guess. So, Leslie, you want to add anything to this lovely little recording of ours and my story that I wasn't going to do this stuff that you were trying to talk me into?
I just want to reiterate everything pretty much that Michelle said. She's right. We all go into this and say, well, okay, most of us go into this and say, we're not going to do this business. We're in this to feel better. And at that point, great. Maybe I signed my mom up. She signed up the day after I did, and I was like, okay, great. She's going to sign up and buy stuff, so that's going to help me buy my stuff. And Michelle's right. And if you listen to any of the people at the top of this business, it's all your outlook. It's all in how you talk to yourself and what you believe. If you believe you can't do this business, that is the direction you're going to go. If you believe you can do this business with 50 people on your Facebook page, you can do this business. So stick with it, ask your questions, do your self-growth, sit in a park for 15 minutes and let your kids climb everything that's there and chase the geese around so you can get a chapter read in your self-help book. Do what you got to do to get it done. That's all I got.
That's it, lady. All right, let's go to bed. It's been great. Talk to you guys next week.
Night, guys.
Bye.